All right, so I'm going to present today and tomorrow to kind of give you the idea of what you're doing. So I'm going to go through the chapters. I'm going to go through the quotes. I am going to go through the questions, much like the group will do starting next week. So I'll spend about half the period with you today. I have a little activity for you to do. And then I will give you some time at the end of the period, like the last half, to get with your people. If you are going next week, you might have more to talk about. If you're not going till the following week, maybe you just want to say, hi, let's go read for tomorrow and we'll work on this project closer to the time. So, I'll leave that up to you, but I certainly want to give everybody going next week an opportunity every day to meet with their groups. So that's what we're going to do. All right. So you're going to grab, well, I guess you're not going to grab your book. You're going to open your PDFs. And so yesterday we talked about chapter 1. So today we're going to talk about chapter 2. And I think what we will do is maybe start with the question or questions, because it kind of helps you remind yourself what's going on in chapter 2. Also, you're re-looking at it real quick because it's hard. That's why I don't encourage you to read too far ahead, because then it's hard to remember what happened in each chapter. So go ahead, look at chapter 2. I'm going to go ahead and ask you question number 2. It said, for Sonia's culture, what comes first? So don't forget, 25 points of this group project is just normal participation. So obviously that encourages you to read things and participate. So somebody want to start us off by answering?
Family.
Sure, Charlie, go ahead.
Yeah, she takes care of her family when she's home.
Yeah. So what comes first? Definitely family. La familia is what I put. Absolutely. So what does that mean poor Sonia has to do? She's got it kind of rough, doesn't she? Go ahead, Ty.
She has to take care of her family no matter what, just like her uncle. She has to take care of him.
Yeah. So this is kind of the big introduction to her uncle in this chapter, otherwise known as her drunkle. And yeah, so she has to take care of a lot of people, right? She has to take care of her uncle. She has to take care of her siblings. She kind of has to do a lot in her family. Yeah, I think that kind of summarizes number 2. So let's talk about some quotes. All right. Now, here's how the quotes work. You might have 5 quotes in one chapter, and you might have 1 quote in another chapter. That's fine. You might have a ton of quotes right now for a certain subject and not any for a different theme. That's fine. Okay, so they all kind of even out in the end, but sometimes you get a lot for discrimination or a lot for stereotypes all at once, and then you don't have anything for anything else. That's fine. Okay, remember, this is going on. That's why I'm not collecting it every day. I'm collecting it at the end. So you just kind of keep your list going. I will ask for volunteers, much like the group will do, to share what quotes you think stood out or you found interesting or you think go with something. It's up to you whether you write them down. If you're like, that quote doesn't really mean much to me, don't write it down. If you're like, oh yeah, I like that one, or I don't have any under stereotypes, then write it down. Okay, that's why I asked you to get it out so you can kind of look at it as we're talking. So chapter 2, I'll tell you, I had 1, 2, 3, 4 quotes from chapter 2. Okay, that doesn't mean you have to. It doesn't mean you have to have the same ones, but that's what I have. So somebody want to share one quote that stood out to you that you wrote down, you thought was interesting or a good one to start with? Go ahead, Charles. Tell us, I guess, what page you're on first so we can look.
Chapter 2, page 5,
Okay.
paragraph 2 of the page.
Okay.
We do come to this country and speak no English and then act as if there is no reason for us to even learn the language in the first place.
And would you put that under?
Stereotypes.
Yep, me too. Okay, I actually backed it up. I did almost half of that paragraph. I didn't write it all out. I did a lot of dots. I started, we do shove 14 people into a van. And then I kind of put ... lots of babies at a young age, ... and then your part, come to this country, speak no English, ... Okay, so you summarize that however you want to, but that was definitely one that I thought, explained a lot of stereotypes about Hispanic people. Okay, who's got another one? And again, you decide, you want to add that, add it. You don't want to add it? Don't add it. You already had it? Great. What else you got? Gus, what'd you write down?
For expectations of a Hispanic woman when she was talking about doing all of her chores at the beginning.
Very beginning, right? Page 4, right at the beginning. I had that one too. All right. Being the oldest daughter in a familia of 7 has its benefits. Sarcasm. I cook, I clean, I mop, I sweep, I shine, I bake, I dust, laundry, diapers, ... Right? So yeah, I definitely put that also under expectations of Hispanic women. And again, you can be as specific as you want, as long as you put chapter 2, page 4, and you get the gist of it, you can add some ... You don't have to copy down every single thing. Because if you decide you want to use this quote for something later, then you can go back and look it up. That's kind of the idea. All righty. Well, I had those two. What else you got? I give you a hint. My other ones relate to values of Hispanic families. Anybody get any values of Hispanic families? On, say, pages 6 and 7. Kylan, you got one?
You said they have to be on pages 6 and 7.
No, that's just what I was trying to help you because no one was volunteering. Mine were. Yours don't have to be.
Oh, I put, I love me cultura. I love the cooking and the food. I love the music and the dancing. I love the people. Well, I love me cultura ... I love the cooking and the food. I love the music and the dancing ... I love the people. Smiles, honor, family, amor, Latinos have warmth in their blood.
Hard. Yeah, so that was on page 4. And what category did you put that under?
Values of Hispanic families.
Yep. So listen, I didn't write that one down, but I thought about it. All right. So again, everybody's don't have to match, right? That's not the idea here. That definitely goes with values of Hispanic families. And like I said, I thought about it. I just didn't do that one. So totally works. Anybody else? Okay, well, I'm going to then kind of have you guide you to it. Look at pages 6 and 7. See if you can find something for me about values of Hispanic families. So scan through. They're pretty short pages. Values of Hispanic families. Let's see. Anna's got it. What are you thinking I put down, Anna?
On page 6, I said my cultural family means more than anything. Family first, no matter what.
That's what I put. Okay, it's like halfway down the page. It starts in that paragraph that says, but just because. And then I started with, his familia. And in mi cultura, familia means more than anything. Familia es lo primero, no matter what. All right, family first, no matter what. Okay. Then I had one more on page 7. Anybody get anything on page 7? Or scan it now? Anything else? It's kind of almost very similar to what we just did. So maybe you don't need both, but. Okay, I'll tell you what I had. And group, this is a little note to you when you present, right? Obviously you open it up to other people, but if the quotes run out, then you share what you have. So make sure you're prepared, right? So I had on page 7, towards the top of the page, familia always sticks together even when we're wrong. And I put that also under Hispanic families, right? So again, it just kind of emphasizes again, familia no matter what, even when we're wrong. Okay, so that's all I had for chapter 2. Let's go on to Trace. So let's do our question for 3 first. What is Sonia's nickname from her poppy? And I guess 2 things have kind of come up here, but there was one that I was thinking of with this question. Who's got the nickname from her poppy? Jack S.
Am I saying this right? Tortuga?
Yeah, so it's actually, it's at the very end. So, all right, there's two things. He does call her Mija. That's like a combination of me and Hija, smushed together. It just means my daughter. But yeah, the actual nickname is where Jack said. It's at the very last paragraph of chapter 3, so page 16. It's Tortuguita. Tortuga is a turtle. So Tortuguita is like a little turtle. It's like a little way to say like, oh, my sweet little turtle. Mi Tortuguita. Yeah, so that's his nickname for her. And the question then, the second question is, why does it fit her? What does she say? Why does he call her that? And he sort of says it. He also sort of implies it. What are you thinking? Guess?
She said she was late a decent amount of time, so turtle could be like she's slow.
Early. Yeah, turtles are slow. She's always running late because she's doing so much for her family. But in the end, think about, did you ever read that story as a kid, The Tortoise and the Hare? Right? So the hare thinks it's so fast, it's going to get there first, but the turtle ends up winning the race because it's slow and steady. That's what I think of when I think of a turtle, right? Slow and steady wins the race, right? She's like, listen, no matter what, I'm doing all my homework and I'm going to graduate from high school. I may not be the smartest. I may not get great grades. I may not go to school every day. But gosh darn it, I'm going to get there. So I think that's what it has to do with, right? She's slow and steady, kind of like a turtle. So that's what I was thinking of. Okay, so to be honest, I had a few less quotes in this chapter. I only came up with 2. So I'll open it up to you first. What did you come up with? Get yourself a point if you have one.
Come up with
I don't know who that was. I saw Anna's hand. So Anna, go, and then if somebody else wants to wave me down in a minute. Or does Anna not want to go? Do you want to go?
No, on page 11, I said he woke up every Sunday morning at 4:15 a.m. just so he could buy me a nice smile.
Oh, yeah. So where'd you put that under?
Hispanic family values.
Yeah. So that's about her dad, right? Remember, her dad works like 4 jobs. I don't know what it said. He woke up early at 4:15. What did he do? I can't remember. He was selling palm trees, right? So that he could make some extra money so that she could get braces, right? I think that's what it was. Good. Yeah, I didn't have that one, but it totally does go with values of Hispanic families. Good. Anybody else have one? I'll tell you, I had one this time about discrimination. Try to get anything for discrimination? Tough crowd today. All right, be ready tomorrow. All right. So I had discrimination. I had the very beginning of chapter 3. It says, America prides itself on being a melting pot. Only problem is white people seem to melt a lot less than the rest of the pot, especially at the bottom of the pot where us minorities live. Right. So I thought that was a pretty good summary of discrimination, right? Talking about, in theory, it's the land of opportunity, right? But it sure helps if you have a leg up, right? It's harder for people that are coming with nothing, that perhaps are minorities, to kind of catch up. So I thought that was good with discrimination. And then I had one more that would either fit under discrimination or maybe that value expectations of Hispanic women. So the very bottom of page 10 going into page 11, I was going to be the first Rodriguez in America to graduate. For some people that may not sound like much, but for me it's a big deal, a very big deal, especially because I'm a girl, right? So I think that could go under either, like discrimination against women, or it could be, expectations of Hispanic women are obviously not to graduate from high school, right? To have babies and clean the house. So I thought that was a good example of stereotypes and or discrimination. So that means you could write it down twice or pick the one that you want to write it under. And that's all I had. Then the rest of the chapter is about her friend TA, and they're talking about the drunkle, and they're talking about some math, and then, they talk about the Tortuguita thing. So, like I said, some chapters I had 1 or 2 quotes, some I had 4 or 5 quotes. There's no magic number. You're just kind of filling the things in as you go. So any questions about my chapters that I presented on today? Okay, So let me kind of bring things back together and then trying to make sure, yeah, we got plenty of time. So you're going to have 20 to 25 minutes to work on some stuff for the second half of class. So basically what I've done today is showed you kind of how a presentation is going to run. All right. Now I did not do a visual. You have to do a collage or you have to do a Google slide of symbols or things that are represented by your chapter. Okay, I did not do that because I don't know, it's lazy. And then you have to do some sort of game or activity. So I have an activity for you in a minute. And remember, as you're thinking about different games. You could do a Kahoot, you could do a Jeopardy. Maybe you could work out a bingo. I know it's a little hard because you can't hand people something, but you could probably give me something online and I could, give it to people. So some sort of activity. Think about your English class. Think about any class, you've ever read a book in. Your teacher always does fun, interesting activities, right? You have to draw something. You have to put yourself in someone's shoes. You have to, create something that represents something. Compare your life to their life. I don't know. So think about English class, think about books you've read, and think about activities your English teacher's done. And you could probably apply one of those to this. So today, let me show you what I want you to do. And then you're going to decide, I'm going to put you in your group so you can touch base. And probably if you're going next week, you might want to talk with your group for a few minutes. If you're not going next week, you can just say hi and goodbye, and you can go work on this little bookmark that I'm going to show you. So if you just look with me for a sec, you're going to go to current lesson. And here's the bookmark. I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. Here's where you submit it. Here's reading time or planning time. Here's this document I shared with you yesterday that kind of walks you through organizing your presentation. And then chapters for tomorrow are 4, 5, and 6. So you have 3 chapters to read. Every time you read, you're filling in your quotes and your questions as you go, okay? I feel like about 5 of you had things ready to share today, and the other 20 of you were kind of awkward. So make sure for tomorrow you have quotes to share. You're ready to answer those questions, okay? Now, the only thing that's funky about these PDFs is, look, they're not organized all in the same way. Different teachers are teaching different chapters together. So I'm doing 4, 5, and 6. So you'll need to look at 2 PDFs, right? Then the next night I think is 7, 8, and 9. So don't be confused by that. You don't have to read 4 through 8. It's 4 through 6. So just look at it carefully and you can see what you need to read, okay? The planning document I'm not going to open. I am going to show you this bookmark, and I'm also going to remind you everything is always under class resources, all right? So you're going to get rid of the Para Empezar, but here's everything for Sonia, okay? Here's the group planning paper. Here's some of the chapters. I think I've uploaded up through chapter 14. Here, if you need to click on your groups because you can't remember who's in your group or what day you go, it's right here. So just remember, I'm dumping everything into this class resources, okay? All right, so bear with me for one more second. Let me show you this little bookmark thing I want you to do. It's a little less relevant than usual because you don't actually have a book, but I'm trying. All right, let me just pop it up here. All right, so here's my little activity. Okay, you're gonna make a bookmark. Typically you use your bookmark. Fortunately, you can't really use it this year, but to answer these questions, you're gonna think about an interaction between Sonia and her mom, her ama, okay? Basically, if you need a chapter, that right now is chapter 2. Usually I would have you actually cut this out and use it as we read, but today you're just gonna answer the questions, draw your picture, because, well, you don't have a book, you have PDFs. So it's just a couple questions here. You can type right on this if you want to, or you can print it and then, upload it. Describe the interaction between Sonia and her ama. How do you feel? Okay, how would you react? How would your friends react? Does this relate to something in your life? And draw a little picture, or you can upload a little picture here to represent their interaction. Okay, so yeah, that's my little activity. So I'm going to stop talking. You have a little over 20 minutes. I don't want anybody to leave yet. I'm going to put you in your breakout room. It's going to take me a minute to arrange them. So in the meantime, you're working on your bookmark, or you're starting to read for tomorrow, or you're looking at your questions and your quotes, and then I will get you in your group as soon as I am able to. Okay, so don't leave yet. Okay, I've got you guys all ready to go into your breakout rooms. So like I said, if you're in the first groups like that are going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I would probably stay and chit chat with your people for a minute. Make sure you're starting to figure out who's doing what in the project. I will come around to each of your groups and check in with you. If you are, not going until the following week, if you just want to say hi and check in real quick, and then you want to go finish your bookmark and go start your reading for tomorrow, I am A-okay with you leaving. Okay, any questions for the good of the group? Everybody know what you're doing? Okay.